Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and we're not going to talk about the law today. We're going to talk about generational difference. I don't know if you're out and about in the world today, you probably hear a lot of people talking about, oh, those millennials. There's no loyalty. They don't love their employer the way they should. And as the oldest possible millennial, an elder millennial, as they say, I always find that to be very odd. Like, my grandfather was pretty loyal to IBM. Very, very loyal. He spent a long and fruitful career with IBM. And then one day IBM said, nope, we're going to do layoffs. Everybody's got to go. You're out of here. And it was just from that time on running the ground. You, of course, had their old CEO, Ginny, go on an all-hands video conference call and deliver a long address about how they were going to engage in age discrimination, how they were going to prioritize younger workers and get rid of older workers, in one of the most classic and ignorant moves of an employment law gaffe the world has ever seen. I mean, it wasn't an organization that you would be loyal to, right? It was like a tech chop shop, low on talent. Like they don't really, as far as I'm aware, they don't really have any products. Like they don't. So I'm always fascinated how they make money today, because it just seems like they're not actually selling solutions to anything. And this video is not meant to talk shit about IBM, but it's more like the idea that, like, this concept that you would be loyal to a company is strange, right? Because a company exists, especially a publicly traded company, to maximize profits for its shareholders, which means it's only really allowed to look at you as a cog in the machine, right? Like, if the company looks at you and says, hey, we got rid of that person, we can make a little bit more money, then they should, under their mission statement, right? Under the purpose and the guiding principles of a for-profit, publicly traded company, they have like a duty to maximize profit for their shareholders. And when they do those cutthroat, kind of aggressive things, they're fulfilling their duty. It's not like you can say, oh, how could they? The question is, in fact, how could they not? They have a duty to do these things. So this concept that you would want millennials and Zoomies, who I guess are the next generation coming up, to have loyalty to for-profit enterprises is insane to me, right? Like, it's not, at least government is theoretically supposed to serve your needs, right? Like, it's not how they run really anymore, but like the idea is they should be like doing things that are good for their constituents. That's not even the conceit of a for-profit entity. That's not the goal. The goal is max profit for the shareholder on a publicly traded entity, right? So I would urge you, parents of YouTube, as an employment attorney, as someone who represents employees in their worst moments, to not raise someone with the inherently boomer loyalty of, I got to do right by my employer, right? And trust me, I'm not encouraging people to go out and screw their employer over. I'm not encouraging people to go out and commit time theft. I'm not encouraging people not to care about their careers. You should care about your career. Your life's work is important, and you should, frankly, pour your heart and soul into it. When people are like, oh, I don't live to work, I work to live. It's like, okay, well, that's not, so what are you doing with your life? You're just having a good time? You're not really having that great a time. So you're not a very good hedonist, and and it's all kind of sad, right? Like, put some time, put some effort, put some love and care and oomph into your career. It's your life's work, right? I'm not telling people they're lazy or shifty or sketchy or anything like that. What I'm saying is, you see a lateral and it's a better situation for you, better work, better conditions, better pay, better anything, yeah, take the lateral. Keep an eye on the risks. It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. Maybe you're jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. Who knows? But like, don't turn down opportunities because you're loyal. And parents, don't raise your kids to think that way. Don't raise your kids to be subservient, right? And that's what it is. It's subservience, right? This idea of like, oh, boss wants me to work 90 hours a week and only get paid for 45. No. Get paid. Take care of yourself. And instill these things in your children, right? If you tell your kid, hey, you got to do this, and it's an emergency, then the kid better do this, right? But if it's not an emergency, if it's a situation where you have a little time to discuss, and you're like, hey, you got to do this, and the kid's like, all right, sure, but why? The answer's not because I said so. The answer is because of X, Y, and Z, right? And if your kid gets too used to, because I said so, you know what your kid's going to do? Going to grow up. When the boss says, because I said so, your kid's going to say, okay, boss. And that's scary. Because what you raised was something a little bit less than a fully featured human. Because when somebody says, because I said so, this child you raised says, okay, I'll subvert my own judgment and do what you tell me. Not okay. Not okay. Because the people saying, because I said so, they don't have the best interest of your child at heart. They don't have the best interest of society at heart. They don't have the best. And again, not attacking them. They can't. Their job, their duty is to max profit, right? So don't raise a kid whose response to, because I said so, is, yes. It's not okay. It's not okay. And those old ways of thinking are dangerous. Dangerous and wrong-headed. And I urge you, people of YouTube, raise kids who say, I don't know, what's in it for me? Whenever they interact with their employer. Because the point is that your employer should be getting things from you, and you too should be fairly compensated for those things that you're doing for your employer, right? So it is a very rational question to say, I don't know, what have you done for me lately? Over there, they get to work from home, and over there, they're getting 30 grand a year more. Over here, I just get told because I said so a lot. So why would I stay here? What's good about here? What does here do for me? And that is a very important dialogue. That is how workers gain power, right? And you got to do it. You got to raise kids who say, yeah, I don't know. Why? And why should I? What's in it for me? That's what capitalism is. Part of the reason people hate capitalism is because they think in a gotta do it, boss said so mindset. You don't gotta do it. The boss isn't God. God is dead. So I hear. And even if she or he is not dead, it's not your boss. So boss, you got some ideas what you want me to do. What's in it for me? Raise a kid who thinks like that. In my opinion, that is the way to go. That is the future. That is needed. Good luck, everybody. Raise those kids right.